In the heart of an isolated forest in Ireland, a man named John runs desperately, panic evident in his movements. As he flees, he comes across multiple signs reading "point of no return" with varying numbers, suggesting he is trapped in an endless loop. The tension escalates as an unseen force violently drags him away, his fate unknown. This haunting sequence sets the stage for the eerie, supernatural horror that follows. Cut to Mina, a 28-year-old artist living in Galway, Ireland. Mina has been grappling with guilt over her mother's death in a car accident 15 years ago, a tragedy that she feels responsible for. During that time, she had been fooling around and mocking her mother's warnings when the crash occurred. Mina, emotionally scarred and isolated, keeps a low profile. She works at a pet shop and, one day, her boss asks her to deliver a parakeet to a customer. The bird, which she later names Darwin, becomes her companion on this strange journey, but it is more than just a delivery. It's a key to unlocking a chilling mystery. Before embarking on her journey to deliver the bird, Mina adopts a new persona, wearing a wig and using a fake name. She tells Darwin that she prefers to pretend to be someone else, signaling her need for escape, even if only for a brief moment. This new identity marks the beginning of her journey into the unknown. Mina drives through the winding roads of rural Ireland, but the journey quickly turns unsettling. Her car breaks down unexpectedly, and no matter what she does, it refuses to start. Stranded in the middle of the forest, she steps out, holding Darwin, and calls for help. But when she returns to the spot where she had left the car, it has vanished. In confusion, she continues to wander the forest, and in the growing darkness, she spots a woman running through the trees. Mina chases after her, desperate for answers, and the woman leads her to a small, secluded cabin. Inside, the woman introduces herself as Madeline and insists that Mina stay, warning her that it's too dangerous to venture out in the forest at night. Madeline is accompanied by two other people, Sierra and Daniel, and they all live in the cabin, which they call the co-op. They explain that they've been there for an undisclosed amount of time, seemingly trapped in this remote area. As Mina tries to make sense of her strange new surroundings, she notices something unsettling. The group is being observed by something outside. There's a two-way mirror, and through it, Mina hears what sounds like applause, coming from the woods. These sounds are not from humans, but from the Watchers, the mysterious entities that haunt the forest. Daniel, one of the inhabitants of the coop, puts on a show for the Watchers, and Mina is told to simply act normal while they are being observed. They explain the rules of survival in the forest. No one should go outside at night because the Watchers are deadly when darkness falls. The group is safe during the day because the Watchers cannot survive in sunlight, but at night, the forest is their domain. The Watchers are seemingly omnipresent, watching from the shadows, always observing. Mina becomes increasingly curious about the Watchers and the strange dynamics of the group living in the coop. As Mina gets to know the others, she learns more about their tragic backstories. Sierra shares that she came to the forest with her husband, John, who went missing some time ago. It's clear that the group has been living in a perpetual state of fear, and it seems like they've all resigned themselves to their fate. Daniel appears to harbor feelings for Sierra, though she seems to be consumed with the loss of her husband. The relationship between the three survivors feels fragile, and Mina's presence in the coop begins to shake things up. Mina, determined to uncover more, convinces Daniel to help her explore the burrows, subterranean tunnels where the Watchers retreat during the day. Armed with a rope, the two descend into the dark, and Mina discovers several artifacts, including a photograph of a man named Rory Kilmartin. Madeline had mentioned him earlier, but it's unclear how he's connected to their predicament. As Mina continues to investigate, a Watcher suddenly appears, its grotesque, nightmarish form making a terrifying noise as it extends a six-fingered hand toward her. Daniel quickly pulls her back to safety, but the encounter leaves them both shaken. Back at the coop, the group's fragile peace is shattered when someone appears at the door, knocking. From the surveillance cameras, they can only see the person's feet, but Sierra believes it's John, her missing husband. However, Madeline forbids her from opening the door, suspecting that the person outside might be a Watcher in disguise. To prove that it's truly John, Sierra asks him what book she's reading, but the figure does not answer. Moments later, the Watchers kill the figure, and the group is left reeling, unsure of what to believe. Tensions rise as Madeline and Mina are left outside, just as night begins to fall. The Watchers emerge from the forest, their horrifying, spider-like forms stalking the cabin. The two women hide as the creatures screech and circle the coop, watching the others from the outside. When the Watchers finally leave, Mina and Madeline are able to return to the safety of the cabin, but the experience leaves them all on edge. As the days pass, the group discovers a hidden basement beneath the coop, a place they had never noticed before. Inside, they find more artifacts related to Kilmartin, the man whose research seems to be connected to the Watchers. They uncover a computer with video recordings of Kilmartin documenting his attempts to communicate with a captured Watcher. In the final video, Kilmartin, who had once sought to understand the creatures, realizes that trying to coexist with them is futile. In a desperate act, he kills the Watcher and ends his own life. Madeline then reveals the truth about the Watchers. They are ancient fairies that once lived alongside humans, but were banished to the forest when they were deemed a threat. Madeline, in one of her rare encounters with a Watcher, saw it up close and realized that it resembled her, an imperfect copy of herself. This revelation deepens the mystery of the Watchers and their connection to the humans who are trapped in the forest. The group comes up with a plan to escape the forest by making it to a boat. However, their plan goes awry when Daniel is killed by the Watchers, who then take on his form. Mina, Madeline, and Sierra make it to the boat, but they are not free yet. Once they reach civilization, Mina tries to make sense of what has happened. She visits Kilmartin's former university, posing as his niece to access his office. There, she uncovers more of Kilmartin's research, including a recording where he discusses halflings, creatures that are part human and part Watcher. Mina finds a set of photographs that cause her to stop dead in her tracks. It turns out that Madeline, whom they all believe to be a human, is actually a halfling, a Watcher who assumed a human form. The halfling had lived among the survivors, capable of walking in daylight, and had taken Madeline's form after her death years earlier. Mina, now certain of the truth, visits Sierra's house to tell her what she has discovered. But as she speaks to Sierra, she notices something strange. Another version of Sierra appears outside. The real Sierra returns home just as the halfling, now posing as Madeline, knocks out the other Sierra. The halfling confronts Mina, but instead of fighting, Mina tries to reason with it. She acknowledges that the halfling's banishment was unjust and that, like humans, it has the capacity to understand. After a tense moment, the halfling relents, spreading its wings and flying away, leaving Mina to reflect on the nature of the Watchers. The film concludes with Mina reuniting with her twin sister, Lucy, whom she had been estranged from since their mother's death. Mina recounts her traumatic experience, still haunted by the appearance of Madeline in the forms of other people. Lucy's sons show Mina a drawing they made of her with Darwin, the parakeet she kept as a reminder of her ordeal. As they stand together, the camera pans outside, where the halfling appears once again, watching them from a distance, taking on the form of a young girl with a partially human face.